Hello, everybody. Welcome to Most Wanted Topics. I'm your host, Kevin Dennison. Along with me, Atomic Tommy, broadcasting from our studios in beautiful Bloomington, Minnesota, and in our store, Most Wanted Comics. And Tommy, it is cold outside.
Way too cold.
Way too cold, but we're in here
cold.
bundled up. 30 below wind chills outside, but 70 degrees and sunny in Most Wanted Comics.
Yep. Heat is always on.
The heat is always on.
Always cooking.
We're bringing the heat. Some things to talk about. You know, it is our birthday week coming up. Can you believe that?
Already 1 year. I can't believe it.
Already 1 year old. I can't believe the store is 1 year old and we're having a good time. We are going to do some fun things, and let's kick things off with this major announcement. We are going to have a birthday celebration sale. Can you believe that?
Birthday celebration.
We rented a large room because those who have been to our store know we're not the biggest store in the world. So we had to have some extra room for what we're doing. And we're going to do a big sale. We're going to bring in thousands and thousands of books at $1 each. And so we need space. So we rented St. Luke's Church in Bloomington. They have a big room, a large room that we can use. And we're gonna bring out the boxes. And
yeah, you guys would not believe the amount of dollar books we have sitting, not even at the store. You know, we have the 15 boxes under the tables, but that doesn't even scratch the surface. That's just the tip of the iceberg of the dollar books we have, and we're going to be bringing them all to St. Luke's Church.
We're going to be bringing the dollar books.
We're going to be bringing them. I don't think you're going to see a dollar bin selection that we have anywhere else in Minnesota, so you're going to want to be here for it.
And that's going to be Friday the 19th and January 20th. Friday, January 19th and Saturday, January 20th. For all the information and timing of everything, make sure you go to our Facebook page. We're going to put all the information on Facebook. And that's, of course, Most Wanted Comics MN on Facebook. And then if you want to check our website, make sure you hit our calendar because that puts all our events on it. We'll have our information on our website, mostwantedcomics.com. And that will also have information on the calendar section. So make sure you check out those two places. Now, I got to give our shout out to, of course, JD and, of course, Matt, Scott and the boys, Jimmy, Jeff, Ryan, whoever else needed a shout out. Thank you guys for watching. If you like what you're seeing, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Tommy, it's time to get into what comics we want to talk about today. What was tickling your fancy this past week?
Well, you know, Transformers came out, but you guys already know that's good, so I don't even have to talk about it because, you know, just an amazing story. But also, Ultimate Spider-Man #1 came out this past week, and wow.
That was big.
What? I know, I was able to read it, but I couldn't even buy a copy because we sold out right away. I didn't even have a chance to buy a copy. But what I will say is, wow, what an amazing story. What a refreshing story. I won't spoil anything. This is one you're going to have to read for yourself. But, wow. I can't, you know, it's so, after, you know, everything that's been going on in Amazing Spider-Man and all the trials and tribulations that it's had and all the downsides, what a refreshing story to read. This was absolutely incredible. And I can't wait to keep up with it.
I have not read it yet, but I heard it's fantastic. And, of course, I didn't get a copy either because we sold out too fast. And we thought we had ordered enough. We certainly had plenty on the plate, but, everyone seemed to want Ultimate Spider-Man #1, which is good. And the fact that I'm hearing good things about it right away is good. I can't wait to read it. I have not read it myself. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next round.
Yeah, you know, some people, for some reason, are bashing Jonathan Hickman, who is writing the Ultimate stuff. And I don't know why. I mean, everything he's put out has been a banger. I'm not understanding why. And, like, I get it. Every writer has what they're good at, what they're not good at. Hickman is no exception to that. But, you know,
Hickman's a pretty solid writer.
He's a pretty solid writer, and this stuff is great. Everything, it's good.
Well, you really can't please everybody. There's always going to be those out there that want to drown everybody's Cheerios and whatever.
Yeah.
We're let them hate. We're fine. Hickman's awesome, and we're fine with it, and I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, it was an incredible book. Check it out if you can. And I know it's kind of hard to get around here in the Twin Cities now, so people are struggling to find it. So if you can get lucky, definitely pick up a copy. But also, another thing that came out, I mentioned it last week, Action Comics 1061. The start of Jason Aaron on Action Comics.
Another good writer, Jason Aaron.
Another good writer. We're, again, as I mentioned last week, we're Jason Aaron fans here. I like everybody, I loved his run on Thor. I thought that was amazing, and I was really excited to see what. And I'm also loving Batman Offworld. He's writing Batman Offworld. That's great. And also, little side note there. Also being drawn by local superstar Doug Mahnke.
Doug Mahnke,
Aaron and Doug Mahnke on Batman Offworld. That's great.
We love Doug Mahnke here at Most Wanted Comics.
But with Action Comics, I don't have. Yeah, I don't have too much prior knowledge on Superman comics. I'm not a big Superman reader. I read the first few issues of Joshua Williamson's Superman run, which is the current one ongoing right now. And I enjoyed it, but I fell behind and kind of stopped reading it. But I've never really read Action Comics. So I don't really have a knowledge base or a sort of experience to base this off of. I can't relate it or compare it to anything else that's come before. All I can really do is tell you what I think it is. And I thought it was pretty cool. They're sort of bringing Bizarro back for what seems to be a pretty interesting sort of take on Bizarro, a pretty interesting Bizarro tale. I don't know if this is something, again, my lack of knowledge on Action Comics is going to be in the forefront here, but I have no idea.
He's wearing a DC shirt, everybody.
I'm wearing a DC shirt, but, well, it's like not every
Marvel. Yeah, it's the Flash. I like the Flash.
Well, it's like not every Marvel fan knows everything about Spider-Man. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't really know a lot about Superman comics or the lore, but so I don't know if this is something that's been done before or if this is a take on a previously established story. I don't know, but it was pretty cool. I really liked Bizarro in this. He was kind of cool. I liked how Jason Aaron really put an emphasis on like the Bizarro talk and sort of went into that, and it was really fun trying to keep up with what he was saying because you have to kind of go in your head, well, it's the opposite, and that was really cool. So Action Comics is cool. I'm going to be checking it out, mostly just for Jason Aaron. If, he wasn't writing it, I probably wouldn't be reading it, but...
there you go. Tell us how you really feel.
I'm going to tell how it is. If it wasn't Aaron, I wouldn't be writing it. I wouldn't be reading it. So, but thanks. You can thank him. If you wanted me to talk about Action Comics, you can thank him for that. So, coming up this week, it's a big week.
Yeah. What do we have coming up?
Avengers Twilight, #1. Yet another Avengers title. There's like
do we
a
need
million.
Another Avengers title?
We really do not. There's like a million of them going on right now. Also, Jackpot #1. Mary Jane Watson with her new powers she acquired in, I think it was 10 some issues ago in The Amazing Spider-Man. One of those runs, the characters that you kind of left asking, why? Why is that happening? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. But it's coming out, and Mary Jane Watson fans can, relish in
and the big one
superhero.
It's
and Cobra Commander.
#1. We're looking forward to that.
Joshua Williamson on Cobra Commander. Duke was awesome. Cobra Commander is sure to be amazing as well. So that's what we got.
I'm looking forward to Cobra Commander personally. I think it's going to be better than Duke.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a preference. I'm not a huge G.I. Joe fan, so.
Yeah, well, I think the Mighty Mafu will have
he'll have a few words on that.
A few words on that when that comes out.
So yeah, those are my takes. I think I was, I like to say it how it is.
You do. You're great at it.
I like to say it how it is, and no offense to any Action Comics fans out there. I don't mean to, rain on your parade or anything.
But it is just because Jason Aaron.
But it is just because Jason Aaron. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's get your take now. Echo came out.
Echo did come on. I actually forgot.
We have to do a review on this show. This is a darker series, and I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
a lot of lore. Now hold on a second. If I don't want to hear any crap about spoilers, so I'm going to give you a chance to get out of this. If you don't want to hear this segment, here you go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No crap.
You've been warned. So now here we go. We're going to talk about Echo. Okay. So, Tommy, your take on Echo. I thought it was awesome. I mean, I do appreciate the background of the Native American, but I thought it could have been even more action than there was.
What I'll say is I didn't really understand. Like, it was rated TVMA.
It was a darker take.
It was a darker take, but I don't really understand why it was MA. There wasn't really anything TVMA in the show. The action, for the most part, yes, it was fast-paced, but it was no different than what we saw in, like, Captain America Winter Soldier. So I don't really understand why it was TVMA. I think they kind of wasted that rating a little bit. Because if you look, not even like if you look back at the Daredevil show, which I think what a lot of people were trying to compare this to, like that was TVMA in it was TVMA in the action, but it was also TVMA in the themes and in the, you know, the what was happening, right? The themes, the stories,
and the level of violence,
and that just really wasn't here. So I don't really know why it was TVMA, but you know, I was also one of those guys that was really excited to watch this because Daredevil was in the trailer. And the Daredevil scene was cool. Again, the action was nerfed, but it was still a cool scene. Kingpin was cool. And overall, cool. You know, the character of Echo and the story did impress me a little bit. Yeah. You know, I was involved, and you know, I liked the story. I liked what they did with it. I liked, I liked sort of the arc Echo went on. Echo's not a character I don't think many people particularly.
I do have more appreciation for Echo now. Yeah, I do like Echo more now than I did
like
then.
Echo more now, but I think it's one of those scenarios where, you know, it's like Andor. Now, Andor, you know, if we're talking about quality for a second, Andor as a show is still leagues better than Echo, but it's sort of similar in concept to where it's a character nobody really cared about, taken and put into a show that gives that character more of a presence, more of a story.
Yeah, there's more meat on the bone there on that character.
Building out to a larger story. The post-credit scene was a massive deal for the upcoming Marvel movies. I'm going to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but Kingpin sees, I think he's going to be running for mayor here in New York.
Running for mayor, yep.
Which is a huge thing in the comics. It's a huge deal, and if they don't, you know, mess it up, it could be a really cool story. So Echo was one of those things where I liked it. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't think it was bad. I quite liked it, but I think there could have been a little bit more done with it. I think 5 episodes.
Think so. I agree.
There could have been a little bit more done with it. Character work is something that's been lacking in the MCU, so I think giving us that, you know, putting a little more focus on character, I think is something sorely needed and definitely appreciated, but that doesn't mean it wasn't without its flaws, you know, and I think it just could have been a little bit more.
It could have been, but all in all, I give it a success.
Yeah, I think it was fine. The problem is that really you get a lot of people who just don't watch these shows. Like this, I don't think many people really actually watched Echo. You know, I don't see a lot of hype around. I don't see a lot of people talking about it now.
And if you don't, you're missing just a good show. I mean, is it the best thing in the world? No, but it doesn't have to be. It can just be good, and that's what it was. It was just a good show. And they could have done more with it. I wish they would have, but they didn't. But what they did do, like I said, it made me appreciate Echo more. And it really did dive into the character and how she came about. And yeah, I like the recap scene with Ronan with Hawkeye. And
yeah, that was a cool little flashback. That was a
cool little flashback. I like the recaps. I like the fight scene with Daredevil. That was cool. And Kingpin's just a badass. I mean, every time he's in the show, he makes the show good. So anyway, that was a good take on Echo.
I think a 6 out of 10 is a fair rating for that show.
I gave it I also give it a 6. I'm with you.
5 just seems a little bit low.
A 6 with 2 thumbs up. How about that?
A 6 with 2 thumbs up, yeah.
A 6 with 2 thumbs up.
It's sort of one of those shows where it's like, again, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't all that great. It was above average. I'll give it an above average.
And for Marvel right now, they need it to something that you can say, all right, we're back in the game.
Yeah, that is the other thing too. You kind of need something, when you just need something above average. The above average feels great.
Every once in a while, it's okay to lead off with a double than a home run. You get the inning started. Let's get it going. And I think Marvel let off with a double here, and I can't wait to see. I hope things get going on the right track again. But I thought Echo was okay.
Yeah,
so we can walk away from that feeling good.
I think that's a good take, and that's a good place to stop there.
Yeah, that is a good place. All right, well, here we go. We're going to bring in the Mighty Mafu to talk about. He promised he really want to talk about some G.I. Joe. So we're going to talk about some G.I. Joe, and then we're going to recap the birthday party, and we'll be out of here. So we'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. With us is the Mighty Mafu. Mafu, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Well, as you know, I'm doing great. Thank you. As you know, we love to talk about what the store has to offer. We carry vintage toys as well as modern toys. as well as comic books. So we're going to talk about some vintage toys today, and we're going to talk about one of your favorite topics, and that's G.I. Joe and some vintage figures. And then we're also going to show you a vintage G.I. Joe toy that we have in the store for sale. But Mafu, let's lead off with what you brought here to show everybody today.
So I'm going to start with the figures first, then I'm going to get to the vehicles. First figure is Storm Shadow. Everybody loves Storm Shadow. I mean, this is version 1 Storm Shadow. This is not the version 2 G.I. Joe version. Great figure, and he's always yellowed, but you know that's a common with white toys.
Because he was played with.
Yeah, and that's nothing bad. I mean, he's a ninja, and ninjas are supposed to be played with, just like version 2 Snake Eyes. I mean, he was a ninja, so he deserves to be played with. And you know, he can still fight Joes even without ninja weapons. And anybody can use a weapon, but the ninja is a weapon.
When did the G1 version of Storm Shadow
1984. 1984, good buddy.
1984. All right, what do you have next?
The Crimson Guard. I
love the Crimson Guard. That was my favorite.
The Crimson Guard.
I just love the uniform, the red, the silver.
I mean,
the machine gun with the bayonet. I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, you can easily have like a squad of these, and the Crimson Twins, and the Crimson Attack Tank, and the SMS set, and then there you go, like a full Crimson Guard display.
Yeah, I could army build with that all day. I love Crimson Guard.
And then my second favorite, the Cobra Bat. These are awesome. Android troopers, multiple attachments, claw, flamethrower, machine gun.
Do you know what year Cobra Bat was?
1986.
1986 was Cobra Bat. And you know what? The most common thing to break on those was what?
Was the hand pegs and the backpack, like the peg of it. But, you know, that's common for all G.I. Joe.
Right. What about the chest of those things?
It came with a hologram sticker, and that's really easily lost in surviving figures.
Yeah, those are tough to find complete with the sticker on them. So if you can get one with the sticker on it, that's awesome.
Keep them. Do not throw them away. Do not throw them away.
Don't do that.
And then one of the vehicles here is the Hiss Tank. Came out in 1983. Driven by the Hiss Tank driver. Really great figure. I mean,
I think next to the Dragonfly, the Hiss Tank is probably my favorite vehicle.
You know,
I just love it. It's a high up tank. It's a cool look of the tank. I love the machine gun. I love the cannon on it. I mean, I just love the look of it.
Yeah.
It just looks sleek. It's awesome.
Plus, you know, you can have 2 figures here riding in the back.
Yep.
But, you know, a downside is the cannon, because the original toy had a cannon that can lock in place. But in, you know, now these are often very loose, so they often sit. So that's something to watch out for. But if you can find one that can lock, just leave it in the locked pose.
That was one of the first vehicles, right? That came out for.
Yes, that was the first Cobra vehicle. I mean, if you don't count the Cobra headquarters playset that came out in 1982, I mean yes, that's a playset, but you know. Whatever.
But the Hiss Tank, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, this is always one of the first things that you would want to put into like a big G.I. Joe display. Just have these up in first. And then at the rear, the Cobra Stun. These things are deadly because, look.
It's definitely an all-terrain vehicle. Go off-roading. It's made to be diverse.
Yeah. I mean, the pods can separate, kind of like the 1987 Cobra Mamba. Instead of, you know, like detaching, they're still attached, but, you know, you can still pull double duty and just...
What year did that come out? Do you remember?
1986.
1986, wow.
And then there's also like a little
big year for G.I. Joe.
Yeah, that in 1985. And then at the back, there's a little mounted turret that can be seated by a driver. Of course, I always display mine with Dr. Mindbender.
Mindbender, yeah.
You know, just, you are an embarrassment to a Cobra.
He's not afraid to wipe out his own people. Right?
Exactly, just, yeah. And the driver's cool. You know, if you know a lot of stuff, then some names get lost in translation sometimes, but I think this is the Mortar Viper, like the driver, but it's just cool. And what's really cool is how if you turn the cannons, then the seat elevates.
Oh, so wow, like, that's a cool feature.
So if you want it pointing upwards to attack, then the driver's getting a good view of the sky.
You can target the enemy easier.
Yeah. But then if you want him to attack like a Cobra Fram, then you can just have him facing this way. So that's another good one. And yeah, and now let's get to the best part.
Put the driver back in. Can't forget the drivers.
No Cobra left behind.
Nobody left behind, folks.
And then we get to the best part. So, you remember when you said that we had something at the shop?
Cool vehicle right there.
The Polar Battle Bear, ladies and gentlemen. This was the first G.I. Joe Arctic vehicle. Released in 1983. Didn't come with any figures, but if you had Snow Job, put him,
Of course. So that was G.I. Joe's first Arctic vehicle release. It's a cool snowmobile.
And this looks good with the Snowcat. Which
is it complete?
Yes. It has everything except the instructions, which, that's commonly one of the things often missing in G.I. Joe.
This box real quick. This is a nice box, huh?
Yeah.
So the fans.
I mean, that's a really cool box.
In great condition.
And I just love G.I. Joe artwork.
I do too.
I mean, you can't say no to it.
G.I. Joe artwork is amazing on the box.
I mean, just look at the headquarters playset artwork, the Snowcat, the Sky Striker, the Rattler, the Hiss Tank, the Cobra Stun.
So the Polar Battle Bear Snowmobile. Polar Battle Bear Snowmobile.
I know.
Say that 3 times fast.
Exactly.
Yeah, now, like I tell you, we have that in the shop for sale right now.
Yes, exactly.
Very nice.
And what else can I say about it? It's cool, and
it's a vintage toy from G.I. Joe.
It's vintage from 1983. First Arctic vehicle, goes well with Snow Job, and if you have like the Snowcat or any other Arctic vehicle that came out for G.I. Joe, put all the Arctic vehicles and figures together and see how they look. Trust me, they will look awesome.
Well, that is awesome. And we have that in the store. You can come to Most Wanted Comics, 9919 Lindale Avenue South in Bloomington, and pick that up.
That's cool.
Thank you for bringing that stuff in for show and tell. Well, I tell you what.
Well, it's always a pleasure to, share my collection with the viewers.
Yeah, and the show we have for sale in the store, too. We can't forget that there is a business to this, too.
Exactly. But, I like the Polar Battle Bear. What about you?
Hey, I do, too. I love the Polar Battle Bear. You know what's even better, though? That's going to be 20% off on the 19th and the 20th.
Oh, yeah.
We have our birthday bash coming up, and I'm going to tell everybody about it one more time to recap before we go here. 19th and 20th, we'll have thousands and thousands of dollar books. We have a room rented at St. Luke's Church in Bloomington. You can see the address on the screen here. All the information you can get from Facebook, Most Wanted Comics admin on Facebook, and mostwantedcomics.com. Go to our calendar section. We'll have information there. At the room, we're going to have all those boxes of dollar books and just blow out stuff. And then here at the store during the weekend, 19th and 20th, we'll have 20% off toys, 20% off sets and bundles, and 15% off display books on the wall.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
If you're a G.I. Joe collector, come and get this. 20% off. And
right.
And you can't say no to that. I mean, it's such a great deal.
But if you want to come in beforehand, you can too.
Yeah. But, nobody can say no to a great deal on toys.
No, but I tell you what. So, all right, it's our birthday week coming up, 19th and 20th. Join us at St. Luke's Church and at the shop in Bloomington. Both the church and the shop are close together in Bloomington here. So make sure you swing by during the weekend and say hi and happy birthday. Happy birthday to us. It's been great serving the community for a year. We look forward to serving it for many more years. And have a good week, everybody. We'll see you guys.